What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino, alongside the second best baby blues in San Francisco, the verified one, Forbes, 30 under 30, and always 4 inches taller than me, Tim Gettys. What's going on, Tim?
What's it, host? Is it 4 inches? Is
Only
that what
4?
it is? How
Bro,
tall
I don't know.
are
I think
you?
I'm 5'8", barely.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
Kevin
4
asks,
inches.
I'm 5'9", but he'll be like, you're below 5'8". I haven't measured in years.
No, Nick, you're 5'7".
Oh God, even you saying that, just fucking crumple a piece of paper in front of him, throw it in his face. The man right below me, of course, is the Hispanic heartthrob, Texas Street, Latino heat, clicking heads and ripping them to shreds, the globe-trotting, headshot nitro rifle from Twitch.tv, Andy Cortez.
I might have to hire you to say it from now on, Nick.
I got it written down here, man.
I feel like Greg's kind of grown complacent with it. He's just he's been there, done that. He's the superstar late in his career. He's no longer really fazed by any of the stardom anymore. It's all just kind of wake up in the morning, be a superstar on the internet, go to sleep. It's just the heart and passion. I don't know if it's there anymore, Nick, you know?
I'm not going to say he doesn't even show up for his own podcast now, but there's pudding, there's proof, it's in it, okay? And joining us for the very first time on this podcast.
Eat that pudding.
From the New York beat, Premiere Pro Heat, clicking mice and feeling nice, the After Effects using, smiling inducing, undisputed king of editing from kindafunny.com, Roger Pokorny.
Wow, I did not expect that at all. I expected like a Roger Rabbit reference or something. I didn't expect that at all. Wow.
No, Roger, here's the deal. When you go from the dome like I do, bad things happen. I write shit down now. Tim's like, write it down, run it past the legal department, don't say horrible things. And here's the one thing I didn't want to do on this podcast, because it's happened in the past and it's impossible to get. I didn't want to give you a moniker that's bad, because then you're stuck with it, right? Yeah. Tim had the pure one for a long time. We all know he's just he's out there digging in the trash all day long.
Yeah, I'm a dirty boy.
He's a trash raccoon. I don't know what the hell we're calling it.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
I don't know. The trash raccoon. Or just a raccoon, I guess.
Trash panda.
Yeah.
What do you have? Do you have a thing that people call you yet? Do we have a moniker for you yet?
No, not yet. I mean, all my life, people have just called me, said like Roger or like Roger Rabbit. Like, there's never been like any originality in any of this. So, yeah, I was thinking about getting a tattoo, Roger, on my shoulder. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, God.
But Roger, that's a reference to that's a reference to one of those Star Wars movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to be necessarily associated with that. If I were you. No, you're okay with it?
Yeah, I grew up with it, you know what I mean?
I also love that the expectations you had for Nick and his intro were at the level of Roger Rabbit. That's kind of the baseline of what to expect. And I would have gone lower. I would have said like maybe Roger Klotz. That's about it. That's the only Roger I know. Actually.
Roger Klotz? Who is Roger Klotz?
From Doug.
Oh, okay.
Doug the cartoon.
Yeah. Gotcha. See, I'm with everyone here, where I would have expected more of a Roger Rabbit type thing from Nick, because that is just the way Nick thinks. He hears one thing, what's it remind him of? Boom,
what is it?
The next
Word
But the fact that
association.
you actually wrote it down, I'm proud of you, because when Nick writes something down, it has the tendency to like make a little more sense, be a little more clever. And I appreciate it. That's why I love Nick doing in review, because when he writes the plot, it's like, there's going to be some bullshit being told.
Yeah,
but I
that
love
is
that today. That
true.
bullshit is Roger Pokorny in his whole intro.
Yeah, a little derivative of Andy's, but I appreciate it.
I mean, I don't know who's to say what came first. Maybe we
That is
knew
true.
a long time ago we were going to work with you. We wrote that down, and then Andy just copied it. It's not true at all, but hey, you never know. Roger, we're going to get back to you in 1 second, but before we do, of course, we want to thank our illustrious Patreon producers, Willie D. Billums, Julian the Gluten-Free Gamer, at Mick at the Nanobiologist, DJ Kento, Steve Powers, Kieran O'Donnell, Tom Bach, Willie D. Billums again for some reason is in there. Julian the Gluten. I just must have copied it over again, and Steve Powers is in there.
God bless you.
Jesus, how did that happen? How does that happen? Joey, looking at you. You're the one that keeps that sheet.
Joey.
Exactly.
Oh, Joey.
Other housekeeping things. Next week, of course, if you guys know, we do 2 of these podcasts every week. It was so good. Everyone's like, why don't you just do it twice? And Tim was like, light bulb. We'll do it twice. But the second episode of this podcast every week that drops is a special guest. Please do yourself a favor. Go back and watch, if you haven't already, the Jerry O'Connell episode. It is one of my favorite pieces of content we have ever made to date. It had that kind of crazy energy. Don't listen to it while you're driving. You're gonna crash your car right into a fucking pole. It was so good. Yeah. It's that funny.
The amount of feedback that we've gotten for that episode is so appreciated. Thank you all for watching it, and thank you for enjoying it half as much as we enjoyed making it, because what a pleasure that was.
It's the breakout hit of the summer. Like, this is the one that will go down as a top thing ever that Kind of Funny's done. First off, like, number one, what are the top things Kind of Funny's ever done? Definitely the Game Over Greggy Show topic, where I did, if you needed to replace the Black Eyed Peas in the future, who would you replace them with?
Classic. Everyone remembers that one. How can you forget that one?
Somewhere down the list is the Jerry O'Connell episode. It is that damn entertaining and funny, and he's just a super cool dude that is not, in my opinion, he's just not Hollywood. Like, I know that sounds like, maybe it's because he hasn't worked in a while, like in a huge way where he's like, star of the biggest action movie ever or whatever. No, I just think it just seems like he's always been this way. Yeah. Like, I feel like he's just not fazed by this sort of shit. And even when I asked him, what did you tell your parents about, or your family about how the movie was suddenly, how Kangaroo Jack was one thing and it became another? He was like, I don't really talk about it. And I kind of believe that. I just feel like he's like, yeah, I'm just going to work. Like, whatever. It's no big deal. He just seems so relaxed in everything he does. And I think he's just such a cool ass dude.
Also, I just love that, talking to him, it was one of those moments where pretty early on in the podcast, I realized like, oh, this is like an Austin Creed moment where like we have the potential to just vibe forever.
Yeah.
Where like, who the hell knows what's going to happen? I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Jerry O'Connell joins us for an in-review series of random ass franchise he has nothing to do with. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
I put Austin Creed, Jerry O'Connell, and Raul Coley. I put in a similar category. And speaking of Raul Coley, Nick.
Raul Coley, of course, getting there is a select few people, like Tim mentioned, that are amazing and totally get us. And Raul Coley is one of them. He will be joining us as our guest next week on the KF podcast. Numero dos. Of course, this one you're watching Monday. Congratulations. You got through the weekend unscathed, I hope. Very much. A lot of people saying Rahul should come back on the podcast. We haven't had him back in 4 years or something like that, 3-4 years. So very excited to catch up with him, see what he's been up to. One of my favorite people to follow on Twitter, by the way, because he goes back and forth between like actual biting political commentary and just like thirst traps and like all sorts of crazy shit that he's Tim, he's the guy I want to be on Twitter, but I know that if I try to be him, it won't work out and it'll get me put in jail. Of course.
Please don't.
No.
I'll have to deal with that. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to have to ask Andy to do stuff. He's not going to want to do any of the stuff. I get it. You know what I mean? There's so many layers here.
What would you
have to edit a video about it. I don't know what the video will be.
Hold on. Today we're brought to you by BetterHelp and Babbel. We'll get to that a little later. What would Andy have to do to get me out of prison? What would you need Andy to do? Like Photoshop some documentation?
It's the trickle down effect of like, okay,
it affects everybody.
Nick's in trouble,
you think it's just a Tim thing? It's an everybody thing.
Yeah, and it's everybody has to do something. But then the thing is that if I'm away, then it's like, oh crap, Andy has to host more things, and he has to, the mice are playing and all this stuff. Just don't get arrested, Nick, please.
I feel like though, Andy, if we're brainstorming here, we're just brainstorming, right? Mm-hmm. Nick's going away. Nick's doing a 10-year stint, right? Does that make your life harder or easier overall, Andy? Because then you would not have to play Warzone with me, and you could get someone in there that actually knows how to play.
Ooh, so if Tim's busy, or no, if you're gone forever, and then Tim's busy dealing with all the legal stuff.
Not forever, 10 years, 10-year stint. Probably out in 4 for good behavior.
Yeah, 10's a long time. It's a decade.
That's a really long time, yeah.
Let's just move on.
Fair enough. Roger.
What's up?
What is it like being on your first episode of the Kind of Funny podcast?
Nerve-wracking.
Is it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
So,
it was No, this morning it was just kind of like, oh, Greg can't do it. Roger, do it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do anything for this company. Let me do it. And I was like, put it away. I put it to my side, all my anxiety. I was like, let me do this. I'll do it. I'll put up, I have my second cold brew of the day. I was like, I'm going to be caffeinated. I'm going to make sure I do this. So, it's nerve wracking, but I think this is going to be a good one.
Roger, do you need to pee when you get nervous?
Just think of it, Roger, as, doing the Kind of Funny Next Gen podcast, but with different idiots,
Yeah, but they don't want to rank cereal. I mean, they probably do want to rank cereal. That's
We had an entire show based on that. It was called KFAF.
That is true. Yeah.
We had 14 episodes ranking cereal.
Nothing is sacred.
No,
That is true.
We actually did rank cereal, I think.
we one of my favorite episodes, man.
And I was lactose intolerant, and it was a real bad day for me.
Oh, Andy, I ate a pint of ice cream last night watching Falcon and Winter Soldier today. And my bottom half of my body exploded this morning before the morning meeting.
It's rough.
Oh, Lord.
Roger,
okay.
Roger, do you need to pee when you get nervous?
No, it's the other one. Right, I have Crohn's disease, so it's like,
God, it's just this is all over the place.
Yeah,
you need to come.
No. I mean,
this is why Roger's not allowed to see scary movies anymore.
No, it was just Roger saying the other one. So to me, it's only peeing and coming.
That's it.
Because when I get nervous, it's always a pee thing for me. I always, my mind always goes back to the first time we did that stand-up set, and I wasn't drinking a whole lot of water, but I was. No joke, all right, we go up like in 30 minutes. In that 30-minute span, I probably peed like 6 times. That's not an exaggeration. And I don't really know what I was peeing by that point. Like I didn't have that much liquid in my body. Yeah. But it's just like my nerves get going, and then I definitely need to pee. And it's the same thing when I'm playing an intense video game. Also, if I'm kind of like scared and feeling on edge, I always need to go pee. Like The Last of Us Part 2 is make me go pee all the damn time. But it's never really because of I'm drinking a lot. It's just I just gotta pee, and I always wonder if anybody's like me in that way.
Oh, I'm like you. I mean, we talked about this when we get to like the final 2 teams in Warzone. For some reason,
can you ask them to pause it and you go pee?
Yeah, every single time, like I have to pee so bad, and you're like, it's like quiet and no one's talking, and you're like creeping up the side of a hill, and I'm just like, oh my god, I wonder if I could pee into my trash can right now. Because thankfully, Tim, I know what you're thinking. Don't you have one of those trash cans that's mesh? No, I got a full trash can now that's totally self-contained, just in case I have to pee into it during Warzone.
Just in case you have to pee, that's why you have it. God,
that's the kind of gamer that I am now, dude.
Good,
huge gamer.
Great.
Pro.
Please, let's never let that happen. If it does happen, don't tell us about it.
You'll hear it.
Just
my
let
mic's
that
not
be
that
your
good.
secret. Let that be your life.
Jesus, let that be your life.
Have you ever had like an intense moment like that? Like when you're doing something, you're like, I gotta pee, and then I'm not saying I have, but you have.
Oh yeah.
Where you pee your pants?
Or or you just pee into something or a
myself.
bottle.
I will say this: I have never, since we've been doing this, peed here. But there have been situations where I've
this
peed.
podcast.
Not on this podcast. Like
okay.
not in, like, it's not this, but I've been in situations like this that I have peed, and people didn't know, and they'll never know.
Wait, okay, no, all right, stop.
This is so complicated.
You got to elaborate on that. I
it's one of those things where I'm not giving away all the secrets. You know what I mean? They're my secrets. They're not your secrets.
Oh no, I want your secrets. I want all your secrets.
They're staying here. They're staying here.
You were trying to tell me that you've been on podcasts potentially, or something like a podcast before. Maybe a video call, I don't know. And you're like, I can't get up from this seat to pee. So you pull a Snowbike mic, you grab whatever Gatorade bottle is sitting around, and you go into it.
I mean, here's the thing. What I will say definitively is I've never done it with the video with the camera on.
Okay.
But there has been a situation where I was doing a business call, and it was not a phone call. It was like this type of Discordy call.
Oh yeah.
And I did pee sitting in this seat into a container.
That's the name. That's gonna be the name of this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. When's the last time you peed at your desk?
I had to pee, guys.
Oh, dude,
and it was an important call,
dude.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Video would make it inappropriate.
No, you can't do
otherwise.
video. Yeah, you can't do video. You can't do video. But here's why I think this is okay.
I don't like it.
I think this is completely okay, and here's why. Because everyone always wants to do video calls nowadays, right? We're all stuck in our houses. You've got the tech right here. Hey, we're doing a meeting. Let's do a video call. I don't like it because I, as you know, pee 3 to 5 times an hour. And if the call goes an hour, I need the mobility to be able to get up, mute the phone, pee, flush the toilet, come right back. I've had full conversations just sitting on the toilet, relaxing. Just no one ever knows. They don't need to know.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. I get it, man.
Every time I call Andy.
I would be so nervous about timing the flush that I would be so nervous I would then need to pee again out of just pure being nervous. I'd be going multiple times there at the toilet. Do you spend a long time at the toilet when you're going poop?
In, out.
I
do.
I
am so in and out, and I don't understand. I wonder. I know we've talked about this before, but I wonder. Thinking back, I felt like my dad would be in the restroom for hours. It felt like days at a time.
Well, he probably was, right? Because he needed to get away from you guys.
That's what I started. Yeah, that's like what I essentially think it was. Like, nah, he's just like, I just need a break. I've been working fucking 80 hours a week. I just need a break from these goddamn kids always wanting to play basketball and football.
I mean, that's my thing, right? It's like I can be fast, and I have been fast, and I've known for being fast in the bathroom before. But that's how I view. Like, I read the news in the morning when I'm doing that business, and so I'll stay in there I'm in there for maybe 20, 30 minutes if I need to be. Just to the point where you're like, I don't know, can I still feel my butt? And once you have to ask that question, it's time to get up.
It got to the point that when I lived with my close homies in Austin, my friend would be like, "Man, you shit so fast. What the fuck?" And to the point where they would time it and be like, "All right, go." And I was hitting, 14-second, 15-second mark. Like,
Shut up. Sub 15 seconds.
Shut up.
No way.
Yeah, sub 15-second mark. Like,
including wiping and everything?
It's locked and loaded and ready to go. And
clicking heads, ripping them to shreds.
Obviously, the faster ones are where, it's
Phantom
2 wipes,
ones,
maybe.
yeah.
It's like a phantom one. There's like nothing there. You do one just in case. You do an extra one. But we're hitting, I'm out and I'm back at the sink. I'm like, done. And time.
That's gamer moments right there.
Done.
And the AGDQ crowd goes crazy because I did the speed run skip.
I mean, this is why it's terrible to be my friend, because I'd be like, I don't believe it. The next time you do this, I need to be in there as a ref, as an adjudicator, viewing the process to make sure that you're actually. Because what's to stop you from just going in there and coming out 10 seconds later with your hands wet?
Okay, but at that point, I would just say agree to disagree. I don't need you
This isn't something I'm trying to prove.
Yeah.
I don't need this title. I don't need this badge of honor right now.
I wish I was that close of a roommate that I would actively try to record Andy's length of poop.
Oh man, I feel like that's what you say for when you get married, right? That's a marriage thing. You can't really broach that topic with any of your friends you're not in intimate relationships with.
Now I'd say, I put Levitard show on my phone and I put it on the sink and I sit down and I just listen. I just kind of chill out. And I feel like that's my moment of meditation.
I sometimes
open up the window
out listening to Levitard show in there sometimes.
Oh no. I just look out the window.
Showers are my safe space. Showers are the place that I could be in there for way longer than I need to be, quote unquote, but I enjoy how it feels. So it's like people have always judged me for how long my showers take, and it's like an average shower for me is probably like 18 minutes. Not quite hitting that 20, but that's the average. But like,
you just if
it's a Saturday, I'm in there probably closer to 30.
You fall in the habit of collecting the water on your chest or your stomach.
It's so fun.
It's just a fun thing.
Here's a weird thing that I do that I'll let you guys know because we're all family here.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I'll do the sort of Ben Affleck from Gone Girl thing. Maybe it's like the Ben Affleck Batman thing where you just put the hands up and you kind of lean like you just got done with battle. And you're like stretching your quads a little bit, but it looks really cool and your back muscles look dope. I do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's cool, man.
Tim, it's weird. So I don't like when Tim doesn't. Andy, here's the thing. I don't like when Tim doesn't respond to shit because that means it's really weird and I shouldn't have said it. So I get it.
Like Nick, what I want you to know happened in my mind is as you're going through this, you start Ben Affleck, Gone Girl, or maybe it's Batman.
I can't remember which one. Wasn't there a scene where he's like jacked out in Batman?
Well,
yeah, it's Batman.
Immediately, I'm like, and that's the problem. Nick.
But in Gone Girl, you see his penis.
I didn't respond because yes, there is a scene in Gone Girl where you see Ben Affleck.
Well, I see my own penis when I'm in the
and he's there, and then you bring in Batman. So now I'm seeing Batman naked in a shower, and then it's you. So all of this sucks.
You're welcome.
I think the scene you're thinking about, Nick, of him being jacked in the shower is actually Daredevil, maybe. Where he's pulling the teeth out.
Oh, maybe. That scarred me as a kid. That fucking scarred me.
Because
I thought that your adult teeth just fell out.
There's a shot in that scene where you get all of his back muscles showing off and stuff like that. So I think that's what you're thinking of.
That might be.
But now Tim's seeing Daredevil's penis and it's Nick's face. And it's weird.
I've never seen Daredevil.
Last night was a bad situation with me in the shower. I'll tell you what.
Please.
I knew I had to wake up early because Fridays are usually our more early days, and at this point I'm like, it's already past midnight. Falcon Winter Soldier are definitely on right now. I could go watch it. Should I try to fall asleep like as quickly as possible? Watch it in the morning. I'm already like it's too late to really plan this out. You've lost track of time already.
You've already gone off the deep end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, let me shower first. I step in the shower and I make the mistake of opening TikTok. And
in the shower.
Barrett, if our water bill's a couple $100 higher, I'm down to split it 3 ways. You need to take it up
with Alyssa, and you have to tell her what happened.
I don't think Alyssa's going to ask me any questions about this.
Yeah, down to still split it 3 ways. But yeah, I fell down that rabbit hole. Just like,
you have to explain yourself, Andy. I'm sorry.
By the time I knew it, it was like 15 minutes had gone by, and I hadn't done anything. I was just scrolling. Keep in mind, these are minutes.
Are you just not scared of like getting water in your phone or anything, or even if it's like waterproof, you're not scared about
It's water resistant, but I'm really good about holding my phone out of the way of like the splash area. And even if I do notice a drop or two, I just open the door and just get the towel, and I'm right back at it. Right?
So you're like half in, half out of the shower. You're barely taking a shower at this point.
No, I mean, you know this. I mean, I'm not bathing actively. It's just the water's hitting my back.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It kind of barely, you know.
So you're like barely taking a shower.
And I've got the phone out. I'm underneath a shower. I'm in the vicinity of a shower, and I'm just scrolling, and then about 15 minutes go by, and I'm like, I should take a shower. Because the water started not getting hot.
Yeah, now it's cold.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's the sign.
So I was like, all right, Andy, get right back into it. So I started my shower or whatever. But yeah, like TikTok, Tim, you're right, man. It has taken over.
I'm so happy that you've been converted. I knew it. I knew all you had to do. All you need to do is spend an hour just looking at stuff and like watching the things that you actually enjoy. And then all of a sudden, you have a new favorite pastime.
It has taken
gold content, man.
It has taken over. And I do appreciate that we always hear about the algorithm, right? It's always how smart the algorithm is. You click one thing and suddenly that's kind of what your feed eventually becomes. And I was always under the impression that that the algorithm wasn't that great, that it was actually just going to be a lot of terribly unfunny videos of people trying way too hard to be funny. And sure, there's still some of that. You know, if you're pulling a fake prank and the people are acting and you're trying to play it off as real, fuck off. Like I want to send your account into the sun. I hope you
should be able to legitimately like, tag those videos
and explodes
and have someone come and just walk up to the person in real life like, shame on you.
It's so annoying. Like I appreciate when the people are fake enough to where them being fake is part of the content. But when it's people legitimately trying to play this thing off, it's like I've always mentioned that's like my number one skill in the world, and it started a long time ago at this early stages of Facebook, where it'd be a guy giving a homeless person $10, and it's like, this is fake. I know that. Like, I could tell. I'm really good at knowing when people are bad at acting, and I know when this shit is bullshit.
Well, yeah, it's because most people are bad at acting.
Videos, dude. it's so terrible, dude. But yeah, so far the algorithm, again, a couple days in, it was and still is a lot of Valorant TikTok. I liked a couple of kind of tutorials. Here's why you're bad at doing this in Valorant. Here's why you're bad at defending the side, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just sort of kind of taken off as like, that's 50% of my feed is just random funny Valorant videos or awesome plays, Shroud doing crazy plays. And then luckily enough, I know I could have done this on my own, but I kind of wanted it to naturally happen. And Joey sent me a video of a cute puppy. And I said, Joey, thank you for this. And I clicked like. Slowly, but surely, a couple more videos of puppies are coming in. I'm like, oh, this is the shit. This is where we're now we've hit the gold mine right here. Because this is what I've kind of wanted all along. And now my feed is a lot of that. It is a lot of just videos of girls where you're like, this is really graphic. Like I didn't know. I didn't know this was.
Way to put it.
I didn't know that your parents know you're on here. What the fuck? What is going on here? Like this seems illegal to be on this website. it's a lot of that, and then luckily lately it's been really good impressionists, and I have been clicking on some incredible impressionists. I found one who does a great John Mulaney. I found one girl who does a whole bunch of different ones, including Emma Stone and a bunch of different actors. She's fantastic. So I've kind of like, I want to follow these people and just keep getting content from them. And so far the feed is getting pretty damn curated, and it is getting pretty tough to get away from this fucking app.
Have you seen that one impressionist that does a really great Marge Simpson? It's fantastic. Yes. I need to say, she's so good.
Yes, it is The Godfather, right? She does the Marge Simpson as the Godfather. Look at what they did to my boy. Obviously, she's way more graphic.
My boy.
It's fucking incredible. But she's fantastic. But yeah, there have been so many great, just comedic shorts as well. Legitimately funny people that I hope find success in life. Because you're actually really good at this. Like you are, like the little short with those dudes who did the Doombreka, Pfizer.
Oh, those guys are so
their little
funny.
comedy trio. I see a lot of their videos on there as well. So like when you see legitimately talented people, that's what makes my experience feel good. And it's not just some random person trying to be silly or trying to troll in Fortnite or whatever.
I mean, maybe that's a problem. So obviously I use Facebook because that's how a lot of comics go back and forth with each other. And I find myself in the opposite of what you're talking about, where it's a constant endless scroll to look for something actually worthwhile on Facebook. Yeah. And obviously I follow a lot of comics. I have a lot of friends. So every like fourth post is one of those is someone trying out a joke, and sometimes they're funny, and sometimes I'm just like, I just want to post and just rip them apart. Be like, you just quit. But then I haven't posted a joke in forever, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I don't know. Tim's always trying to get me on TikTok. I just can't.
I mean, dude, like, do not look at Facebook for content. That is the worst.
No, I don't look at Facebook for content. I look for Facebook for like some way to pass the time that's relatively engaging and entertaining. Similar to Instagram, but Instagram I scroll through like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, but, no. Yeah. TikTok is to me out of any of these type of platforms. So whether you want to consider it social media or media creation. Like more of a YouTube type,
I would say it's more media creation
or whatever. Seen, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of both, but out of any of them, it is by far the one that I've seen the most different things that I'm like, fuck, I wish I thought of that, or fuck, I wish I was the one that did that, or that Kind of Funny did this, or whatever. Like they're just so brilliant. Like everyone's so creative, and there's so many different things. Where there's so much trash. There's trash everywhere. There's trash. There's trash on HBO. You know what I mean? But it's like there is so much gold as well, and just like the level of creativity and talent that so many people have. And it's not like I'm amazed at the kids that have this talent, but it's like there's so many people, a range of people from all different types of backgrounds and everything, doing so many different things, whether it's comedy or music or just dog content. It's the best dog content, man.
I've already followed people on Twitch because of their gaming clips or their little gaming videos, and it's cool because these people might be gigantic on TikTok but don't have a huge following on Twitch and stuff. It's like, oh wow, like you're kind of just getting started on this thing, and you're gonna be really huge one day because you're fucking really good at Valorant and you're making all these awesome videos, and your viewer count is going up higher and higher and higher. Yeah, the dog content is just ridiculous. I've also kind of breached what I'm going to call politics talk. Politics talk.
Oh,
politics talk.
Yeah.
Politics talk. Anyway, that there's a lot of really awesome young people that are really fucking educated, and they are responding directly to somebody on the right saying, here's what Joe Biden's doing. And they're like, well, actually wrong. Here's all the legislation. Here's all the words that, but like people having really good rebuttals in politics on there has become pretty fascinating to see. And also kind of encouraging that, oh shit, these kids are 22 and 23 and they are really smart and educated. And it just kind of gives me hope that, the world isn't a complete trash fire.
And adding on to that, I think that there's an extra level of the youth that are using it to create the content of the way that they think about the content they're creating is very different than the way we have created content in our careers and stuff, where like they think about the experience, which nowadays is so much captioning. Like you need captions. And it's like, of course that has the added benefit of, just allowing more people to be able to consume the content and enjoy the content, but it also just makes the content better. But that requires work. Like there's a reason that all of our videos don't have words on them. It's like that requires people to make a dedicated decision to do that, and to see that not only enhance the content, I think, just from allowing more people to be able to enjoy it, but to also kind of be used in the edit and in the content itself to add layers to the joke, or whatever. It doesn't need to be a joke, whatever the content is, whether it's educational or comedic or just silly, anything. Like I'm just so damn impressed.
So are you guys mostly just consuming content, or am I missing out on all the great stuff that you guys are making right now as well?
No, I started putting just breakouts. I started putting
the Twitch breakouts.
Basically, I have a library of a bunch of Instagram videos that I've put up, and I've slowly started to put them up on TikTok. And like my homie Sancho West does really well on there with all his Fortnite clips, and he's like, dude, like I'm still being shown videos from Dr. Disrespect that were put up like 2 years ago, that were put up recently, but they're clips from like 2 and 3 years ago, and they just kind of get put into the feed because they're funny and popular and people like them. So like, why not just put up old clips? So that's what I've kind of been doing, but it's been mostly just consuming. Oh, here's the impressionist.
Let's watch. Can we watch one of these? We're gonna. I don't want to.
Totally.
Yeah, cool. No, it's not coming through for some reason.
Give me a second.
Giving you a sec.
Whenever I plug in, I don't know why this does this now, but whenever I turn on my Wave 3 mic, Chrome decides to output to that and not my normal.
Mine does the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. So
I will say I love that Will Smith, every time there's a new platform, Will Smith's everywhere. He's just look at it right there, right there. He's great, man. So what would you do if your dad was Will Smith, and was just constantly wanting to fuck with you like he fucks with his kids?
I'd love it, man.
It's kind of great though, because he was on like nothing, like no social media or anything, and then he just had like that, like it was like Twitter, and then now he's on everything, like just immediately, and he's just embraced it all. It's kind of great.
All right, now I'm ready here.
We got it. Let's watch it.
Oh, sorry, is it my turn? Could you guys ice a cappuccino? Is that possible?
I've been trying
raise it
not
up
to
just a little
have
bit.
caffeine, but
Oh, never mind. I got it.
break the rules just this once and order an iced mocha. Just English breakfast tea, naturally.
Well, she actually looks like Phoebe Waller.
A latte, I suppose. Just an iced tea, unsweetened. Thanks.
What?
Get it? Yo, I did not think I needed more caffeine today, but I guess I do. Can I just do a double shot latte? Thank you so much. Just your average cup of joe. That's all I want. Nothing.
Oh my god, that's
God.
spot on, Joan Cusack.
Just whatever you think works. So that's it. Just.
That's awesome.
That was really, really good.
While we're here, Barrett, can you go over to that Shea Serrano tweet? I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but good lord, this is amazing.
That's not a real thing.
This is
That's a CG
this is
thing.
like the demon from His Dark Materials, huh?
Oh Jesus God. Just don't stop feeding it, or it's gonna kill you.
Like, Andy, you're the king of fake videos. Is this thing fake?
That's fake. It's fake.
Nah, that's a real monkey.
I mean, there's a monkey behind him.
Andy's thinking about it, man. Look at his face. He's like, I don't know, man.
Oh, it has human hands. It has human hands.
You're muted, Andy.
I hate this thing. This thing's scary.
Do you hate it?
I love it, but I also hate it.
The way the eyes and the mouth are moving.
Yeah, here's my thing. That's
real.
That's real. That looks fake to me.
It looks real.
Oh,
Let me elaborate, Roger, because my hatred of this is only because we were seeing it for 5 seconds. I would need to spend more time with this to see how, like, what the cuddle factor is, to understand whether or not we're going to be homies, because this thing could very easily go south and just take you out at the knees, and I don't want that.
My instinct
That's
is,
how I feel about all of these.
My instinct is to be terrified of it. because
I'm scared of it. I don't like it.
And any monkey or anything like that, like I see a TikTok, like I see a bunch of like these baby monkeys that are like, oh, like I'm raising this beautiful little cute monkey, and I'm like, that thing is gonna fucking turn on you immediately as soon as it gets
gonna it's gonna eat your face off.
Yeah, it's just a ticking time bomb.
And the thing I reference, his Dark Materials, like the monkey that looks like this guy in that show is also just like terrifying and fucks with everybody and is just. Yeah, I don't trust these guys.
You watched all of it?
Oh yeah, both season 1 and 2. It's great.
Wow. Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Is it good? Really? Man, I could not finish season 1. I just was losing interest.
We were really into it.
Did it get better?
Granted, we are really into a lot of the people cast in that show as well.
Yeah,
so
the cast was great.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I wanted to really be into it because I thought it was going to be like the next kind of big show.
Season 2 is definitely a different vibe. So season 1 wasn't.
Okay.
You might,
That's good.
Season 2. So
Nick, I saw a fucking fantastic little short on TikTok the other day, and it's this kid looking in the mirror, and he's rehearsing in the mirror. And, hey, Dad, would you like to play baseball with me? No, it's not gonna work. Dad, how about we go throw the ball out in the front yard? I don't know if this is gonna work. He finally works up the courage, walks to his dad's room, and like opens it, kind of peeks through the door, and his dad's in the mirror. Hey son, not today. No, that's not gonna work. And then it just cuts to the kid like looking through the door and like closing it real sad.
Fucking great.
That's
so good.
Gold.
That's really funny.
Can you bring up the video I just sent? So here's some confirmation. These things are real.
I don't like this, Tim. I don't like that you introduced this into our world. What's wrong with you?
An endangered golden snub-nosed monkey.
Okay, first off, the word snub-nosed makes me think of a snub-nosed revolver, and that's how you kill people real quick. Like, pow, pow.
Yeah, I mean, it has
that's what
it
these monkeys
has
are going to do to you.
It looks like a skull nose, like the way you draw the nose holes in a skull.
In a skull.
Nose hole.
Yeah.
Hold on.
What's Joey doing? Why is Joey going back? Oh, that's cute.
See, it's
a baby still
one.
terrifying.
It's a little
But it still looks fake here. It looks CG. It's weird, man.
Because they have fun. You know what it is, Tim? From the neck down, it's an Ewok. It's an
so
Ewok.
cute.
Yo, this thing got some nips on it, though.
Yeah, I got some low hangers on that.
I've seen it there, but then also, like, just Google image searching golden snub-nosed monkey. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen nips quite like that. Also, I don't like the sound of this.
It's funny. You know what it reminds me of? When Kevin forgets to mute his mic.
You're such a fucker.
I know. He's not here to defend himself. Jack, be cool. Be cool. Be cool. I'm kidding. I'm just joking around. I don't like these things. I've passed judgment. I don't like them. What did Joey just put to the assets? I want to see what she did. This is what this is.
It's the monkey, but angry.
Yeah, if you didn't like it before, you're gonna hate it now.
Oh, I want to see it, Barrett. Now, see, this is the real shit. This is you spend more time with these things. You're like, that's fucking terrifying.
That's the last thing you see.
Yeah, it looks like a monster of some sort. It's
that thing bites into your neck, you're done. It's taking a chunk out. It's going around.
Boy.
Let's go to the dentist, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Good.
I know. Poor little guy's little front teeth right there getting worn down. That's what happens in the wild. That's why I stay home.
Fucking Nick.
Look at, I love it. He's got
in the wild.
That's what I said. I'll tell you this way.
Way too authoritatively.
You sound like the way Cartman talks when he's talking like an authority. When you're out there, there's no chance for anybody.
Oh man, you guys are talking about Dark Materials. Is that HBO? That's HBO, right? Or is it Showtime show?
That's HBO.
Yeah, the Showtime or HBO, excuse me, rather, has just been fucking putting out bangers. And I was talking about this earlier today, but man, I finally finished the documentary about called Q Into the Storm, about QAnon and all the stuff that led up to the January 6th. Yeah. It's fucking bonkers. The story and the fact that it's like, and the whole theme that they use is obviously like going down the rabbit hole, and the whole point is the guy's trying to figure out who Q is from QAnon. And man, it is a fucking crazy ride. But the reason I bring that up is I was like, we finished it last night, and I was like, I need to watch something that like will renew my faith in humanity. And Dee was like, there's that Tina Turner documentary on, which is basically Tina Turner and her husband made a documentary as sort of like a way to like chronicle her life, but also as a way to say goodbye to her fans because I think she's very ill. And I was like, oh, let's watch that. 2 hours later, crying my eyes out. I can't tell you how unbelievably good this documentary was. You should all freaking watch it. If you're not familiar, you guys are probably a little bit too young. Roger was definitely too young to remember like how big of an impact Tina Turner had on the 80s. But holy shit, she was a badass.
I think I only knew who Tina Turner was because I think Selena, Latina star, covered a song
with her or something. Yeah.
No, I think she like covered a song. One of the disco ones. I'm pretty sure it was Tina Turner. I'll have to double check, but I think she covered. No, maybe not. Shit, I'm pretty. Selena from the '90s, rest in peace. She covered a disco song, and I could have sworn it was always Tina Turner, but I guess not.
The only T Turner that we know, Roger, is Timmy Turner. You know what I'm saying, buddy?
Hell yeah,
My
you know.
man. DJ Timbo Turner. Tina
obvious.
Turner for me was I only knew her because in the early 2000s, mashups became a really big deal of like different genres of music and mash them together. And Tina Turner, for some reason, I mean, she has bangers. I think that must be the reason.
Bangers.
She was always half of the mashup. You know,
like, it was Donna Summer.
It
was Donna Summer.
Tina Turner album.
Oh, probably. You probably had that one that had "What's Love Got to Do with It" on it.
No,
Donna
I mean,
Donna
a mashup album.
Oh, the mashup.
One half of the entire thing was Tina Turner, and the other half was like random other things.
It's just one of those things where, like, when you watch people, when you watch people perform on stage that are just, they have that thing, that like greatness thing, and you see it and you go, "Yep, that's it right." I don't understand how it happens or why it happens, but it's just the culmination of everything that's happened to this person and their natural talent and their drive. But dude, there's an amazing part where, if you don't know, I mean, obviously she was in a very abusive relationship with Ike Turner, so much so that her name's not even Tina. He just chose that name for her as a stage name as kind of a means to control her. And when they finally got divorced, the only thing she wanted was her name. So she gave him the rights to all of their stuff, including Proud Mary, which you guys have definitely heard that song. If you have, it's like, big wheels keep on turning, Proud Mary keeps on burning. She was like, I don't want any of that stuff.
Those are the lyrics at all.
Yeah.
Never would have thought Proud Mary was involved in that. Period.
Proud Mary is that. Yeah. I mean, and we'll take it for what that is, but great song, obviously. But she's like, I want my name because I know what I can do with this name and I know what I can do. And she goes to her manager and she's like, she finds a manager and goes, he's like, what do you want to do? And she goes, I have this vision of myself doing like stadiums, like sold out stadiums. And I shit you not, within like, because of her drive and talent and just that focus, I think it was like 2 or 3 years later, 150,000 people in Rio de Janeiro. Just, I mean, it's a fucking like city that is watching her perform. It is unbelievable. And the energy that she brings is just, it's so incredibly inspiring. Everyone should absolutely go watch it because and it's actually a beautifully made documentary as well.
I'm not that familiar with her in the way that if you ask me what are Tina Turner songs, wouldn't be able. There was one like Upside Down or something like that, right, Nick? Upside something or other. But if I heard it, I'd be like, okay, I know all these songs, and I just YouTube Tina Turner. I started clicking on some things. I did not know she did the song "The Best."
Yes, simply the best.
And it's like, oh my god,
she did that. Her most famous song to me is "What's Love Got to Do with It," which is was like
everybody knows that.
Growing up in the '80s, that was the song. That was like one of the songs that was just always around, being played someplace. But yeah, I mean, she has her roots in like rock and roll, but her stage performance, just the energy level is like, Tim, whatever you've done before, take that up to 1,000, and that's what she's bringing to the fucking stage for like 2 hours. It's so cool to watch.
I don't want to bring it up because it will definitely get claimed for this, but everyone needs to watch the Tina Turner "The Best" video on YouTube, and even just skim around. It is just pure epicness. It's just her. There's just a lot of fog, and there's just a horse just running in slow-mo around her. And then all of a sudden, there's just a sax solo. And if there's one thing that the world needs more of, it's sax solos in songs. Why did they go away? They were so strong for so long.
You know what?
There's a good one in that song by The Midnight. The Midnight, who is that?
He's bringing back that sound, right? Oh no, not The Midnight. I'm sorry, I think The Weeknd. Which one's
no?
The Midnight?
Yeah, the Midnight is they're kind of a synthwave pop band.
Yeah, bringing back that 80s sound.
It's a lot of like very electronic sort of 80s sound, but they have a sax solo in one of their songs, and it kicks ass. So, Nick, you bringing up Rio de Janeiro and just how hard the fans go. Tim, that's your YouTube recommendation. My recommendation is for everybody to watch Rush YYZ performing in Rio.
It's a really cool stadium.
There's a cool story behind it. Probably is. Yeah, there's a great story behind how the fans in Rio always want to rush to go perform there, and it had been decades of them being asked, and they finally went. They didn't have time to do sound check. Like they were super late. They didn't have time to like test really anything. So they just kind of had to go up. But the crowd, again, it's similar to the Tina Turner crowd. It's like 80,000 people, and they are singing along much like you would watch a soccer game with the crazy fans in Brazil. But they are singing along to an instrumental. There are no lyrics in the Rush song, but they're going
amazing. It's a good voice.
Like the crowd is fucking all. It's just a wave of people jumping, dude. It is.
This is fantastic.
So fucking sick, dude.
But Andy, it stresses me out hearing this song because what I know the song from best is Guitar Hero, and it was fucking hard on it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's Rush, man. They're like one of the most technically proficient bands ever.
Yeah, that video is one that I'll never like. That is still one of my favorite live DVDs. I remember my dad having that DVD and popping it in with the incredible. Like my dad is super techie. Just like I think it's kind of the reason why I give a shit about the quality of my tech and having the awesome sound system and surround sound. And that is still one of my favorite live DVDs. The whole concert is amazing, but I'm still always blown away that a crowd is singing and jamming along to an instrumental song. They're singing along. It's so crazy.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you know what else is amazing? Our sponsors. Our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, is Babbel. For most of us, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point in our academic careers. I took Italian for 2 years in college, and I think the best I managed was a C+, much to the chagrin of my Italian mother, who has still never forgiven me. Now, of course, thanks to Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app, there's an addictively fun and easy way to learn a new language. Whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with a family, or you just have some free time, Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. Greg, of course, is using Babbel to learn French so he can communicate with his in-laws better because they don't speak any English. 15-minute lessons makes it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go with Babbel. And of course, Greg is very, very busy, and you all know how busy he is. So having something that's easy to access, very good for him. Babbel designs their courses with practical, real-world conversations in mind, things you'll get to use in everyday life. Our language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use promo code MORNING. That's BABBEL.com with the code MORNING for an extra 3 months free. Babbel, language for life. This show is brought to you by our show's new sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. A lot of us take care of our bodies, but 2020 and 2021 have been tough, so we might also want to take care of our minds. There's a misunderstanding about what therapy is. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be sitting around talking about your feelings. I went to therapy to deal with my issues with claustrophobia, and it was incredibly helpful. Of course, a lot of people battle with their temper, or their stress is about to kill them, or they have depression, anxiety, PTSD. The list goes on. If this is you, you can use therapy to get some tools that make life easier. That is so unbelievably true. I always look at it like I always tell people, listen, if you want to do some bodybuilding, you're gonna go get a coach. Think of therapy as your mental coach. That's what I always think of it as. And you can sort through a lot of fun issues, or not fun issues, but issues that you need to sort for so you can have some fun. When everyone is struggling with something, there's no more shame. You don't have to tell everyone your personal business, but you can talk to a therapist about it privately. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and the Kind of Funny podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/morning. That's BetterHelp.com/morning. Now back to the show. Okay, we're back. We're back from our sponsors.
Fantastic segue right there.
Thank you. It's no Tim, but I'm getting there. I practice in the mirror. No, I don't do that. I don't practice in the mirror. Patreon.com/kindafunny is where people go if they want to support us, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of you have supported us throughout the months. We love you so much. Of course, supporting these shows gets you lots of cool things, not the least of which is the ability to write into us and ask us questions that we can discuss here on the show. I'm giving you guys a question. Well, we're going to do both these. Which one you want to do first? Fast food or $1 million?
I wanted to do the question that you and Roger were going to ask me.
Before we get to that, Roger and I were talking beforehand, right? I was like, Tim, I'm loosening him up. I can tell the kid's nervous, right? He's got to get out of the field, Andy, for the first time, and he doesn't know if he's going to be able to perform. And we're talking, and I was talking to him about some of his playing Fortnite, and he said, you got to get out there, and you got to crank some soggy 90s, some 90s. And I was like, dude, I'm totally down to download Fortnite and crank some soggy 90s. And then I said, Roger, what's a soggy 90? And Roger goes, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I assume that's to do with 90 degrees, right?
Andy, what's a soggy 90?
So it was really Snowbike Mike that put me on to the soggy part of it. Mm-hmm. But cranking 90s is what you would do when you would practice Fortnite. And you would practice building. And you would go into sort of their build mode, which isn't even like an actual game. But it's a mode where you could build, creating kind of fortresses around you, Nick, and it's so fast when it happens. You see, like from the perspective of the game, and the camera just kind of like does like this weird thing, and suddenly there's like a perfectly made structure around you, and there's that the gamers always say, crank a 90, and you would just kind of crank a 90 build around you, and you would have a wall, a ramp, a floor, like whatever you needed around you. So I don't know where the soggy part came in. I'll be honest with you.
It's the most important part.
But Snowbike Mike brought it up one day, and since then it's been soggy 90s.
All right, I'm gonna message Snowbike Mike right now and get him on this podcast to ask what the soggy part of 90s comes from. If he's listening right now, Snowbike Mike, pop into the Discord. If not, please, I will ask you our first Patreon question from Pargot Singh at Got Singh over on Patreon, or actually rather that's probably Twitter, but over on Patreon. Pargot asks, what would Kind of Funny crew do with $1 million if they needed to make $1 million project?
Real quick, before we get too far from this, Pargot, if you are the Pargot that I hung out with in Philadelphia, I need you to tweet at me, at Tim Gettys, and tell me, yes, I'm that Pargot. This is important information for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody also tweet at Tim Gettys. That's me.
Don't do that.
No, right now.
Parker, I know your avatar. I've seen you on Twitter. I've seen you in different places, but I need to know.
I mean, if we go to Got Sing right now, we might be able to just look at the picture of Pargot and see if that's a person, but maybe you don't. But, I mean, it's probably a blur, actually. Everyone's a blur when we meet people.
Yeah. I mean, the story here is, it's not just like, oh, somebody I met at like a meet and greet or something. It wasn't that. It was when Gia was going to college in Philadelphia, to grad school, one of her roommates' cousins came to visit the same time I came to visit, and he ended up being best friend. And it was this guy. His name was Pargot. And I'm like, it looks like him, but it could not be him. So
yeah, fair. I mean, my memory is
tweet at me.
Speaking of best friends, this is another way to kind of get us away from the main topic, which we will get back to, I promise. But
we don't have to.
A while back,
we never said we answered the question. We said we asked the question.
This is just a small update. A while back, I would say probably at the start of the year, I mentioned that there was a Kind of Funny best friend who had come down with COVID, and he was a Kind of Funny best friend that I came to know because a real friend, an IRL friend of mine, texted me one day. I was like, "You're on the screen of my coworker. What is going on?" And I was like, "Oh, well, he's probably a fan of us, this and that." And then so we kind of just became internet acquaintances. And right before Christmas, or no, was it Thanksgiving? Shit, I think it may have been right before Christmas. He had come down with COVID. And I DM'd him recently because I saw he started tweeting again recently. Thank fucking Christ, because it had been months without me really knowing anything. And I DM'd him this past Saturday, and he said, "COVID almost took me out, man. I was hospitalized for 3 months, getting back on my feet now. Thanks for checking in on me."
Holy shit.
So he's doing better now. Thank Christ. I had just happened to kind of check in with him again because I noticed he had started tweeting, and there was like a several month gap of no tweets. But he is fine now, and I don't even know if anybody remembers that story, but I just felt like saying it. He may be listening right now. I'm glad you're great, dude. Again, I don't want to say your name because I don't, whatever privacy reasons or anything like that. But he's good now, so shout out to doctors and people keeping people alive.
Very glad to hear that. Yeah, very glad to hear that, and also very glad that we're sort of like hopefully turning a corner with COVID right now. I feel like a lot of people are. Like the vaccinations are coming fast and furious, and I love seeing that. And I love seeing every single time everyone's out there tweeting their vax cards, all that stuff. Super cool. I just wonder how long it's going to take to get. I don't know that we'll ever be back to where we were before, as far as
dude. I saw a TikTok last night of a girl saying, "Anybody still have residual effects from COVID? I've been cured now for 6 months, but I still can't fully taste. I still can't fully smell, and I have this lingering taste in my mouth that makes me vomit every once in a while."
Oh, fuck.
And she was like, and hopefully the vaccine kind of mitigates a lot of these issues down the line. But let me know if anybody else is still kind of not feeling one. She was like, I don't know if I'll ever feel 100% again.
That's crazy.
And that's wild.
I don't know that anyone will, right? I don't, even as a society, I mean, like pulling back, I just don't think it's ever going to be the same. This is definitely one of those situations that people go through like once in a lifetime. Well, not twice in a lifetime. Some similar to like a 9/11 style situation where just shit's going to be different now forever. And it's scary to think that. But
I think I
luckily,
wear a mask everywhere I go, honestly.
I mean, that's the thing too, is like I will. I'm sure everyone will. I'm sure that people will say, hey, keep wearing them for sure. Like if people don't feel well now going forward, masks are going to be worn, which I know has been a thing in other countries for a long time. But for here, it's like, how many times have you gone to the office and be like, fuck it, I'm a little sick, who cares? Now it's like, stay the fuck home. Like if you feel anywhere close to sick, stay home. And if you have to go out, please put that mask on, and you're not going to feel weird about doing that, hopefully.
Yeah, again, it's wild that like, a lot of this is just not a whole lot of exposure to everyday life and everyday people and interactions and meeting people and handshakes and all that jazz. But this is the longest I've gone without getting sick.
It's weird, right?
Me too.
Like I get sinus infections every 6 months to maybe 8 months to a year, around there. If I go a year without getting sick, it's like, holy shit, that's a miracle. But then I eventually will get a sinus infection, whether it's because of I don't know, something I ate or a hand I shook, and then I got food and put it in my mouth and I didn't wash my hands before I shook that person's hand or whatever, or I grabbed that railing. Like that, it's always I'm often getting sick, and I'm often having to take my Zithromax antibiotic or whatever, and it's just so weird that it's like, yeah, a lot of it is just not interacting with people, but a lot of it I think is also mask wearing. I think I still want to continue. I know the masks aren't really protective in the way that they're supposed to prevent you from getting other people sick. It's more of like, yeah, you can't cough and spread your germs, as opposed to not letting stuff in. But I still feel better with it. I still feel safer with it.
Yeah, and I think it's also made us a lot more like conscious of like our surroundings and the things we touch and everything, and the people we interact with and how we interact with them. Like I remember like even like when I was living in the city, like even going on the train and everything, like it's insane for me to think of a future, even post COVID, everyone has a vaccine, like not wearing a mask or like not washing my hands very thoroughly after being on those railings or whatever. But like even like just
like doing flu season. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna wear a mask the whole time, probably.
and I remember like during when the coronavirus was like starting to seep into New York, we had a few foreign exchange students that started wearing masks, and I remember everyone looking at them like they're kind of going a little insane for this. Like that's wild. Like I can't believe they're wearing masks already. It's only like 2 cases.
They're
but,
just
like, now
laughing. They're like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, and like idea. Now, and looking back, it's like, oh my god, they had the right fucking idea, and I hope that like honestly, like people have the self-decency to like, if you're sick, like maybe wear a mask around. Like I know there's like, yeah, I don't know. I know there's like a lot of people that are like, oh, like it's my choice, my body or whatever. But it's like, come on, just wear a fucking mask.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I thought you was watching. I was watching one of the I think I said this in the podcast before, so stop me if you heard this one before, Andy. But we were finishing up Below Deck Mediterranean, and it was literally the series was ending right as COVID was hitting, and they were like, "It's probably going to last 2 weeks," and I was like, "You dumb fuckers don't even know. You don't even know what you're in for. You got a year and a half to look forward to right now." Pargot, to answer your question, I would do $1 million episode of the animated series, and we would sure get it in on time. That's what I would do. Tim, what would you do with $1 million?
Still wouldn't happen.
Probably not. Probably not. Just speak a little bananas.
Sorry, I was when you said his name, I totally blanked out on what the question even was. It was
the question
if I had $1 million, what would I do?
Someone says
you have to do a $1 million project.
Yeah, it's like a Brewster's Million situation, right? They're like, hey, you got to spend this $1 million on a project. Actually, it's not anywhere close to Brewster's Millions because he got more money if he spent $1 million. I digress. You got $1 million to spend on a project. Tim, what's your dream project?
Man, it's rough, but I think that my priorities in life in terms of this stuff have changed so much with how Kind of Funny's direction has went. Where before I would probably come up with some crazy ass like
live event
or something like that, which still would be fucking amazing and might still be my answer. But it would probably be investing in a studio space. I'd probably want to put $1 million in something that we could all create it, that we could all continue to use. So it's not like a one and done, here's a thing, but it's more of like the project is building a freaking dream factory of production.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
I would, Andy. I mean, that's cool. Cause I like, of course I'm immediately thinking content. I was thinking of,
you know, maybe 3080s you can get for $1 million.
Some sort of championship belt type thing, like the Kind of Funny championship, and making it just ridiculously over budget and ridiculously over the top with crazy graphics, and get wild celebrities to be a part of it that have no idea who the hell we even are. But to kind of tack on to yours, Tim, I would love to have like a bus or an RV that was capable of making content on. And I think it would be cool to do like a mobile type podcast, and like there might be a couple of bunk beds in there, but also a decent enough recording space. Maybe it's like a vehicle that pulls a bigger trailer that, you know, whatever. I would just think it would be cool to kind of invest money in something that we could travel across and make content that we're not usually doing regularly, you know?
Andy, the thing that's brilliant about that is that is probably the most lucrative use of the money you could possibly do. Because I've been in this business long enough to have had so many sales calls, whether I was at IGN or at Kind of Funny or whatever. Nick, you know exactly what I'm going with this.
They always fucking want it.
All brands want ever is for it to be the most inconvenient trip of all time, where they're like, okay, but what if we put you in like a bus and you made the content on the bus and you went from this place to this place, and it's like, but why? And they're like, I just like people like road trips, and it's like, yeah, but like that doesn't get shown through the content. Like,
we're still on a bus.
Stop the bus to then film the bus from the outside, so you even know where we are. Like,
they're like, we want you to go to different cities and do content in different cities, but ride a bus. I'm like, or we could fly. We could just fly to those cities, just do the content there.
Yeah.
Or just do the content from our $1 million studio that Tim's going to build for us, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah. So, Andy, you're brilliant. If you had this mobile thing,
you'd make
Doritos would be coming to you. You'd
Mountain Dew would be coming to you left and right.
Flavor of Mountain Dew.
Oh man, the Cortez compound.
What would I make it? It would be some sort of. I would have to probably go with like a cherry lime sort of flavor.
Ew. That would cherry lime.
What's
you can't put cherry and lime together, dude.
What are you talking about?
Ew.
What?
I think in terms of pie. Do I want to eat a piece of
this one that's
key lime pie and a piece of cherry pie together? No. Bro,
have you never had like a cherry limeade?
Never in my life, and I'm not gonna even start now.
Are you kidding me?
It's fantastic.
I'm not kidding.
It's like one of the best flavor combos.
I'm serious.
This is I'm putting this out on Twitter. This is a Kind of Funny.
I am shocked that this is a thing. I don't like this. I'm revolting against it. I don't like it. Cherry. Andy, as you know, I've accidentally gone into the cherry Coke Zero multiple times and been pleasantly surprised. But if someone put a lime on top of that, I'm throwing it right out the window.
No. But It's all kind of mixed together. I mean, look, I wouldn't want a lime in my cherry Coke either.
No, that sounds horrible.
I don't like
lime
a
in my
lime in my
Coke,
soda.
yes.
I don't know. I don't want to get your citrus out of my soda. Like it's a cola.
It's barely a citrus.
If you want to put your citrus in my Fanta or in my whatever fucking Mountain Dew Code Red, cool.
That's your
Put
Fanta.
your citrus, stick your citrus deep inside of it.
Oh God! Right
let all the juices just leak inside. But I don't want a piece of lime near a regular soda, even a water. Water's fine, I guess.
Water's fine.
It's regular Coke.
I mean, I think you're missing out if you're not if you put a lime in a Diet Coke. Like if you're at a bougie restaurant and you order a Diet Coke and they give you the look of like, would you like a lime in that? You're like, yes, you're down to fucking play right now. We're gonna have a good time.
That's true, but there is nothing that disgusts me more than, and Roger talking about the rails in trains and Muni in San Francisco and stuff. Like, since I was little, I've been disgusted by that. Like, just the idea. I always have washed my hands after that before doing anything because it's just smart, man. It just feels nasty. That bothers me. Batteries bother me. Like something about touching batteries. When I was little, I heard the term battery acid, and I'm like, nope, not dealing with that.
Well, don't crack them open. Don't crack them open and drink what's inside.
Still, just like touching it, I'm like, nah, need to wash my hands. And then the last thing is lemons and limes at like bars and specifically restaurants.
Oh, when they squeeze them in themselves?
But not even squeezing it in, just it being a slice of it in a soda. It's like, that's disgusting.
That's an actual thing, Tim. Like, I think there have been stories talked about that a lime inside your soda is like the grossest thing possible.
I mean,
because those things are they're just kind of exposed.
Grubby ass TGIF people are grabbing these limes, cutting them, and putting it in there.
You know, they don't wash them.
They don't. I mean, maybe they fucking rinse it for a second. It's like, and then it's just the whole like rind or whatever the hell it's called is just in your drink. Like, that is so nasty to me. And it's like when you go to a cocktail bar or something, I trust them more. I trust that they're cleaning. Are they doing a good enough job? Probably not. But in my mind, they're doing fine. They're doing fine. But I don't trust Chili's people. I don't trust TGIF.
But what if it's on like the rim? Like it's not like it's not in your drink, and then you can squeeze it yourself.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. But then I don't want to drink that part of the.
You don't want to put your mouth on that
fine.
part.
Yeah, no, you don't got to make contact.
See, my only concern with all of this stuff, whenever anyone says, "Hey, would you like a lime in it?" Obviously, I do want a lime in it because I prefer a lime in a Diet Coke. It makes me feel bougie. But inevitably, when you start putting citrus in near the glass, you're asking for a sticky glass. You're asking for a glass that you pick up the second time, and you're like, why does it feel like this is a child's glass? Everything is so fucking sticky. But to go back to what you were saying before, do they wash them? I used to work in restaurants, and I used to have to do one of my I forgot what they call the prep work that we used to have to do was taking buckets of citrus and like cutting them up for the bar. And
not only do we not wash them, we stick them in our mouths.
Oh, dude, just rub them right up my ass. No, I mean they wash them, but I don't remember them extensively washing them. So they're getting like at the most, they're getting like a fair rinse underneath the faucet, but that's pretty much it. You're getting some loose dirt off that thing, but you're not getting bacteria off of it for sure.
Yeah. Roger, what would you do with $1 million?
Yeah, so I'm going. You guys are very practical answers.
You think $1 million episode of the animated series was practical?
Well, I mean,
that's a
you know what I
practical
mean? Like
thing.
that's like like I can see headlines like this guy got $1 million and he spent it on one episode of an animated show. You know what I mean? Like
here's our $1 million episode.
What's the review?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the review. 6 out of 10.
I would split half of it, right? I'm not a musician. I don't know anything about music. I don't know anything about rap. I would make a terrible rap album, and I would put so much money into it. $500,000 into it. I'd get like Metro Boomin, like all these producers, and I'd get it on it. And I'd release it, tons of features too. And then I'd take the other $500,000 and I would get somebody to make a documentary about how terrible the entire album is.
Yeah.
So then I will.
This person went these lengths to do this. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you pull a Banksy though, and like halfway through the documentary you hijack it, and it's really a documentary about them and how they're ripping you off?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Spooky.
it's an expose.
This.
Yeah, I think
You're funded, Roger. Let's do it.
Let's go. Everyone get out there. Patreon.com/kindafunny. We're going to need more than $1 from you on this one, though. We're going to need everyone to give at least $10,000, please, so we can get this $1 million project going.
I'll tell you what I would do. You know what, Roger? That's a great idea. I would.
You'd feature on my album?
I've talked about this so many times, how much I love making music-related things, but the software is always what gets me. I want to pay somebody to come over here and say, here's $1 million. Don't spend all of it, please. But
you might want to cap it at like $100,000 to start and then see where they go from there.
Buy whatever you need. including softwares and all that, come to my place, set everything up for me to where I don't got to worry about shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to worry about, that the interface is it plugged into the right? No, all that stuff is so frustrating. I would just want it to be ready to go. I want to be able to get my guitar, play a 4-chord progression, and then play a lead over that 4 with a loop. Like I just want all that shit to be ready to go. I hate how complicated music software is. So I would pay some person who knows what they're doing with sound equipment.
I don't know a lot about sound stuff.
Now here you go. Here's $994,000 back.
The guy's like, I just ran a Guitar Center real quick and bought you a preamp. You're ready to rock and roll. Things. That'd be amazing, man. I'll tell you what, guys. I have had multiple occasions to go to Guitar Center in the last 2-3 months, and that fucking place hasn't changed. COVID has not changed that place one bit. For whatever reason, you walk in, still 20 employees right at the front part. No one in the section that you need. Yeah, no one in the. You go to.
Is it still the one on Van Ness? Is that one still
yes,
open?
And it's still open. And they're very nice. I'm teasing them, of course, but like gone there to get some stuff for like stand-up shows and shit for friends and things. And it's always just so hilarious that I don't think. I mean, Tim, you and I know that I never feel like I belong anywhere. It's a very insecure thing that I have. Even on this podcast, I'm like, I'm not doing a great job. But when I walk into a Guitar Center, I'm like, I feel like I'm on a different fucking planet. I might as well be on Mars right now. These guys know. I'm like, Andy, they're gonna know. They're gonna know I don't play anything electrical. They're gonna know I'm also a trumpet player. They're gonna ask me about my trumpet player, and I don't even have my trumpet anymore.
You don't?
No, I still have it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I was testing it out just in my brain to see if I could get rid of it. I haven't been able to get rid of it though. I put it in a new case though, Tim.
No, that thing's iconic.
Yeah, it's not so much.
What you need to do is like hang it on the wall. I think it could be a cool wall thing. It could look like you're the inside. You could make your space look like the inside of an Applebee's.
That's a dream, isn't it?
Like you could hang up a trumpet and then like a fishing pole and then a picture of Babe Ruth hitting a bell.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? Like
autographed pictures of celebrities there that weren't actually at that location.
Random things on the wall.
All right,
I think it would be really cool.
I'll let you guys in on a little part of my personal life here. This room that I'm sitting in has been curated by none other than Danielle, my wife.
Wow, I couldn't tell.
And I don't know if you can see in the reflection of my mirror behind me over my right shoulder. This is my right shoulder. No, left shoulder. There's a new bookshelf that's a new addition, and that bookshelf took 6 hours to set up. Now it's blurry. I guess if I move out of the way, you can see it. There's 4 things on the bookshelf. I just want you guys to know that there's 2 plants and some books.
I got plenty of toys if you want to.
So Andy, great. I'm glad you brought this up. Because Dee was like, what would you say if we put some like cool, like actually real talk, we put travel books back there for places that we've both been together. And so the idea is that when we can travel again, we'll add those little tiny travel books. And she actually uses them to like navigate the city. It's very, very charming. I don't deserve this woman. And if she can hear me talking to her, I love her very much. Whenever she brought home for dinner, smells fucking amazing. But I digress. I'm weird and I like being the little brother. So she's like, we're going to put some travel books on there and then a couple little tiny plants. And I was like, cool. And a Batman figurine. And she was like, I fucking hate you. Why did I marry this person? And I don't even want Tim. I don't even want to put it
Nick
there.
Nick doesn't want a fucking Batman figure. He just wants to poke a D. That's it.
No. She knows this too, and she knows that I'm doing it to her.
But
I know. I'm a fucking terrible human being. I'm a terrible human being, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you could do it. Why not? I don't see what the big deal is.
Oh, I don't even want to do it. I just like to mess with my wife.
Look, I have plenty of stuff that Nick, here's the thing. I think you could get into the Lego minifigs, all right? It's my obsession. It's been my obsession for a while. They're not these big, gigantic sets that are going to look really imposing. They are super minimalistic and really kind of neat looking, and they're about yay big. Mm-hmm. It's like, here's how we made an X-Wing out of this many parts, right? And it's super tiny and cute. And I think like just having just like 4 in a row on display, it shows, oh, wow, this person, look at the travel book, so cultured. Wow, we have a painting or a photo of some chairs. We got a little blue thing. Oh, Star Wars. They got to think, I think you show different ranges of this is what our life is like. I think it could be a cool thing.
I think you know what, Andy? I'm going to loop you in on a text thread with me and Danielle, and I'll let you sell that to her. We'll see how well that goes.
I think you should just replace a Batman figure every day, a different one. Just don't mention it.
Roger.
Well, so that's my thing.
That would be the end of my marriage. That would be it.
I have this room that I'm given total free reign for whatever the fuck I want to put in here.
And what's crazy about it is your room is so tastefully done.
Thank you.
Which is great.
Thank you.
Very well done.
People want to act like I am obnoxious in every way. I'm only obnoxious in a couple key ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the important ways, for sure.
Yeah. Like I was watching a TV show last night, and it was an outdated reality show. And they were getting on a Virgin airplane, and everything was glowing purple. And I had a moment where I'm like, man, I miss Virgin so much. And then I realized, like, I made my room Virgin. At any moment, I could just be like, I'm in a fucking Virgin plane. This is awesome.
That was amazing.
And it's fantastic.
Tim, I need to pick up a hub. I need to pick up one of them hubs.
Anytime,
one of them hubs.
You know what you really need, Tim? You really need to be able to on demand play the Virgin America fucking like seatbelt song, and then cut to a shot of me being super annoyed by it.
No, Tim. Here's what you do with the $1 million. You get like IMAX or Dolby to remake and remaster the Virgin America song in Dolby with the sound and all like crazy surround sound. And that's kind of how you show off the studio.
Every movie.
That's how you show off your theater to people,
Well, so that's my thing. I mean, like, obviously I'd rather use the $1 million to benefit others as well. But if I was just going to use it to benefit me, I've always wanted it. I'm getting close to turning this theater and like this room into a Disneyland-esque experience where there's like this hallway leading into this room that is just horrible. Like it's just there's nothing. It's storage right now. Yeah. But one day I want to turn it into like a fucking Disneyland-esque experience where you're walking through.
Tim,
and I want to get TV screens
where you've been like waiting in the line and you're about to go on the ride kind of things.
And you hear Sala. Yeah. You hear Sala and Sala's hyping you up for what you're about to experience.
But I want screens that are like doing the whole like the people explaining what the ride's about to be and like they're in character and all that stuff. But I want Kevin there like telling people what's about to happen, like crazy shit going on.
You hire me full time.
Sounds.
Hire me full time. I will dress up. I'll be right there and I'll be like, Mr. Gettys will be right here for you. Give me 15 minutes, all right? I'll be right with you.
I love it.
And then I'm like dressed up as this. I don't know what I'm dressed up as. I have no idea what I am.
I think it was a Christian Bale theme ride.
Yeah. Hey, we have a party for 5 over here, and then everybody gets really excited, and I go, first time in it, it's just kind of I mess around with the fans, and the fans kind of come to know me and they love me and take photos with me and stuff.
I fucking love it, and I've been building up to this for a while now with the room. There's been a lot of like upgrades that have been happening in here that I haven't talked about too much, but I do now have subwoofers in a couple of the seats, so when you sit on them, there's a lot of shake. It's insane. It's fucking insane. But I do want to get smells pumped in, and I want to get some type of things that shoot water out and stuff. Like I want to
you want the 4D experience.
Man. I want this to be 4D, and like I want people to come in and not know. You know what I mean? Like I be sitting there and they're watching some dumb shit, and they start getting sprayed in the fucking face, man.
Dude, you want to talk about TikTok?
My phone.
That would actually get me. That would get me to download and subscribe to you on TikTok right there. If you did that to people.
Oh fuck, that's a really good TikTok account.
There's this guy I follow on Instagram, but it's just he makes TikToks and he just posts them on Instagram. I think it's called Home Theater Game Room or something like that. And his setup is just fucking. It's way gaudier than mine is, which is a funny thing to say, but it's not tasteful at all. It's just like everything, and I'm like, oh man, like Nick, like moving lights, like at a live venue, strobe lights. Stuff. He has that in the room.
Yeah,
like
you need
it's
that.
not just hue lights; it's like fucking DJ lights.
When I went to film school, they told you first thing you learn: nothing makes the movie going experience better than moving lights in your face over and over. When you're watching movies. Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying though. It's not about the movie experience; it's about the Disneyland-esque intro. To the movie. Then all the lights turn off.
Listen, dude. If you say you can get it done for $1 million, and we can make Captain EO, where the ride actually comes up and down and like hydraulically lifts you, and the robot pops up. He's like, "This is my first time. I don't know what's happening." Or not Captain EO. It was Star Tours. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Remember Star Tours? If we can make Star Tours happen, I would just move into your house.
What was Star Tours before Star Tours? Because wasn't it like the ride where you go
now it's Star
human,
Wars, right?
Human body.
Oh,
yeah.
Like yeah, maybe that sounds familiar. That sounds right. Where it's like they shrink you down and go inside the human body.
Star Tours wasn't always Star Tours. It was something like that.
Adventure through inner space.
Right, which is where they probably got the idea for Inner Space, the movie.
But how long are we talking? Because
before the 80s.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because
I went to Star Tours in Disney World in Florida. I would say around the year 2000. Yeah, and it was Star Tours. It was right next to the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster.
So dope.
My parents must have. My parents took me to Disneyland probably when I was like 3, and I remember being on Star Tours and watching Captain EO and stuff like that.
Yo, this Avengers campus though.
Dude, it's coming, man. June 4th. Real quick, I want to say this because one day it's going to happen, and I want to be able to be like, guys, it fucking happened. I was saying I get full carte blanche over this room. I get to do whatever I want. The rest of the house is essentially Gia's. She can do it, and I love it. She has great taste. It's been great. She has bookshelves everywhere, and they are just covered in books because she loves books, and she's actually cultured and all that stuff. And she actually reads these books, which is the crazy part. It's not just like collecting a bunch of things. But she's convinced that if I were to slide an Animorphs book in one day, she'd notice by the end of the day immediately. And I'm like, I don't believe you. And I keep forgetting to just order an Animorphs book and just
do it right now.
But yeah,
you gotta slide in. You gotta slide in like a Prima guide for fucking Killer Instinct
for Soul Reaver 2.
Yeah, you gotta include one of those. I know we're getting to the end of the podcast. I do want to say that 64.8% of people have taste. They agreed and say cherry lime flamer. Yes.
Yep.
I don't think you.
Writes out of history.
See, the problem is this. All those people that just voted don't have jobs. All the real people who are working professionals are at work right now on the West Coast. It's only 4:30. So give that 2 more hours, and they'll see that tweet because they're hard at work doing real work.
Yeah.
35% of people do not have taste buds and don't like good things. I do also want to say, damn, rest in peace, DMX. Huh.
Yeah. I know. 50 years old. Can you believe that? You know what's scary about that? 9 years for me. I'm only 9 years away from that.
Yeah.
Heart attack, right?
You're getting there.
I don't know that I've lived the life that DMX has lived, though. Thankfully.
Oh, no, you haven't. You haven't at all.
No.
I feel like I might be okay. I feel like when I saw that and I was like, he was young, right? And it said 50. I was like, oh, that man probably has lived a life. But I don't know.
Definitely has. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. DMX. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your Kind of Funny podcast for the start of this week. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification button too, so that you get the notification when we drop these amazing podcasts. And remember, we got Rahul Kohli coming up. You're not going to want to miss that. Also, make sure you go back and check out that Jerry O'Connell video because it was freaking fantastic. And if you're listening to this on iTunes or any of your podcast services, hey, congratulations. You figured out something that I can't. Make sure you give us a good rating over there. And until next week, it's been our pleasure to serve you.